Parabaram param.
Hi DOPs! Today we have another cinematography breakdown. Let's go! This is a commercial of a Rosjanka sausage brand. It's a very bright video, overall very typical for a TV commercial, no low light shots, everything looks very happy, the family is sitting at the table, everyone is smiling, the kids are excited. Basically everything that we don't like. I call this the mayonnaise type commercial. But don't get me wrong, I like shooting commercials like these. That is why I chose it for today's breakdown. The first scene is at the kitchen, everything is quite bright, there is a sunny day. The sun is shining in the window. Here is the kitchen inside the weekend getaway house. That is why it is on the first floor and we can illuminate the windows. In this scene, the actress takes the sausage out of the fridge, turns to us, steps forward, and we focus on the sausage itself. This was indeed not an easy shot for a focus puller, but we managed to get it done after 5 or 6 takes. This scene is in the corner of the kitchen. I chose it on purpose to keep the window visible in the frame. Behind the window there was a 6 kilowatt fixture. The light was directed like this to make it serve as a backlight for our actress. Behind the window there was a dark, almost black fence. That is why we placed either a diffusion frame or a reflection board there to make it look bright. Also, above the actress, where the fridge is, lies a small LED panel. I think it was a light mat providing a backlight for the hair and the shoulders. After the actress turns to us, we should have a good key light. That is why on the side we placed a 12 feet diffusion frame, which was illuminated with sky panel. It provided a soft key light to her face. In addition, it created this flare on the sausage itself. The right side of it was darkened using the floppy. We created a soft shadow here on the sausage and the actress's face. That is all for this frame. Let's move on to the next one. The next frame shows slicing the sausage. We used a skater to move along the kitchen table and put apple boxes underneath it. This is a very close shot of our product, and the main task of a commercial is to represent the product at its best. The difficulties were its round shape and the packaging that was reflecting the light quite easily. So basically, when we look at the product, we see everything else that is reflected onto the surface from behind. In order to make such round-shaped surfaces look good, we had to place a very large diffusion frame behind the table, which helped us obtain this soft white flare on the packaging. This diffusion frame is also reflected onto this marble surface of the table. Thanks to this, the objects that stand on the table have very good pronounced reflections. So it looks like a shadow, whereas in fact it is a reflection of a cup. We used 6 kilowatt fixtures that were located behind the windows to illuminate the diffusion frame, so they were simply directed onto the diffusion frame while still shining through the windows. To provide an extra illumination to the slice of the sausage and the cutting board, above the product we placed a light mat attached to a boom stand. It provided an overhead light, and we can see it in the reflection of a fingernail here. Also, judging by the second flare on the fingernail, there could be another light mat serving as backlight on the right. I do not quite remember now. On the left there was a large 12 feet black frame in order to darken this side and overall to create a feeling of a volume. Moving on to the next frame. It is a wide shot where we see the whole family in the kitchen. We see 2 windows now. That is why we placed 6 kilowatt fixtures behind each window. One here. The second one was here behind the wall. And we can see its beams here. The camera is attached to a Movi Pro. I'm holding it in my hands and move from right to left. We may notice that in the windows there are large sheets of reflective board, about 2 meter per 1 meter size. The backlight for the actress was obtained using a 575 fixture on a boom stand. Quite a strong light that kind of imitates the light from the window. The same fixture illuminates the face of the actor on the right, as well as the boy sitting on the right. It even illuminates the plates, all the food. As I said, it works as the light from the window. You may pay attention to the bluish halo around the actor's face. This effect occurs due to chromatic aberrations, occurring due to using Cooke 5 lens. Quite an expensive lens, by the way. Very expensive lens, I should say. Still, it provides such unpleasant chromatic aberration. That is why I usually prefer to use master prime lenses. As to key light for the actress, on the right there was a very large diffusion frame. I think it was a 12 feet one. Sky panel was used as the source of light. This key light not only illuminates the actress, but the little girl here, as well as serves as backlight for the boy. In addition, it illuminates the actor. Moving on again. In this frame, a slice of a sausage falls onto the buttered bread. We shot this using Alexa camera at 200 frames per second, which is not too much. I would prefer to shoot this using Phantom high-speed camera, but Alexa was all we had. Everything is happening on the same kitchen table, but this time we are in front of the window. We opened the curtains so that our 6 kilowatt fixture would illuminate the food directly to make all the water drops visible when the sausage slice lands onto the surface of the salad leaf. We also placed some bottles and glasses in the background, which helped us achieve this beautiful bouquet. On the right, there is a diffusion frame through which we illuminate the sandwich. Not sure what was on the left, either nothing or a dark frame. So this was the light scheme, quite simple. In the following scene that takes place in the corridor, the mother puts sandwiches into her son's lunchbox. The corridor was quite difficult to shoot in, quite boring. The actors are standing very close to the background, the door is boring, everything is quite flat and lacks volume and depth. That is why I decided to create some light spots. That is why on this wall we imitated the beam from the kitchen window. The same beam travels through the clothes. By the way, the storage shelf was not there initially. We put it there to fill in the emptiness created by the naked wall. The wall itself ended on the left of our frame. That is why right where it ends, we placed a diffusion frame through which sky panel was shining. It illuminated the boy, providing the key light. Also, on the right there was one Astera serving as backlight and illuminated his clothes. Another Astera was located above the door, serving as a backlight for the actress. We can see the light here on her face, on sandwiches as well. In addition, a warm light was provided by the light. It created this light spot on the door to make it look more interesting. Just like the door behind me. We were moving a little closer here. while keeping the camera attached to Movi Pro to create a little more dynamics to the frame. Next is the tabletop. Everything is done pretty much the same as with the previous sandwich shot. 6 kilowatt fixtures from behind the windows as backlight, sometimes even two 6 kilowatt fixtures at the same time from both windows for more brightness, plus some side key light. In this case, on the right there is a diffusion frame. And above it all, there is a light mat 4. The very same thing with the frying pan here. Here is an interesting shot. We used an oven with a backside cutout. It was prepared especially for this shot. Here I decided to illuminate the sausages with a strong light from Dedalite without any diffusion frames. I think it helped create this feeling of sausages being hot because they were oiled, they had all these flares on them as if they were sweating. So this Dedalite kind of imitated the lamp that is usually inside the oven. The sausages here seem like they're under the sunlight, like they are tanned. In the background there is a strong backlight from the windows. As previously there are two 6 kilowatt fixtures, one on the right and one on the left. And when the sausages are out of the oven, on the right there is a diffusion frame. The sky panel shines through it and provides this side key light. Later there is a transition to a scene in the evening. We decided to go for a bluish light in the windows. In fact, I rarely use this color for this purpose, so it was kind of an experiment. We turned off our 6 kilowatt fixtures. There is still a daylight behind the windows, but since it was a cloudy day, we simply hanged the windows with diffusion frames. So here is the diffusion frame through which a natural daylight is shining. In order to provide more filling for the room, to fill it with a cold light from the windows, we hang two asteras. Which also provided reflections for the cupboards, the walls, onto the fridge. So overall, helped everything look more organic. We also placed some small LED panels here and there. For example, one is located here inside the microwave oven. In addition, we turned on the lamps that illuminated the kitchen table in the background. We placed another small lamp there. In the oven, there is also an LED panel with a warm yellowish light. This helped create an impression that something was being cooked there. We turned on everything we could in this frame. There was also another LED panel above the actresses attached to a boom stand. It was light mat 2L that created a slight backlight on their hair and thus helped separate them from the background. It is also noticeable on their shoulders. In addition, some part of this backlight was created thanks to asteras attached above the windows. The light was also cold. And on the right there was a 12-feet diffusion frame, a very large one, through which Sky Panel S60 was shining. It served as key light and filled the space on the table with its light. Of course, we darkened some parts. On the left, there was either 8 feet or 12 feet black frame. It helped create these shadows. Everything on the left side was darkened. Moving on again. For some reason, it was decided to use this take for final cut, although the actor is out of the focus here. I do not think it was a mistake of mine, but this imperfect take was simply chosen for whatever reason for the final cut. Still, let's take a good look at this one. Of course, on the right everything is darkened, and there is a large black frame that creates shadows. On the left there was a huge diffusion frame, the same we use for actresses. We simply moved it. Sky panel S60 was shining through it. It is a good example of a Rembrandt lighting, when a half of the face is well illuminated while the other half is darker yet still slightly illuminated. In addition, there was some warm backlight. Not sure if it was DL light or some basic lamp. By the way, we can see its light cast shadows here. Usually I don't create such strong backlights, so it could be some stock lamp. I honestly don't remember. The window here also serves as source of light. Above the window there was an astera. It was illuminating the curtains, providing a backlight for the actor's hair, his shoulder. Behind the window there is still a diffusion frame. I think it was a pretty dark by that moment, so we illuminated that diffusion frame with sky panel. Oh yes, one more thing. There was a vertically aligned light mat 2L standing on the right to provide this backlight to the cheek. In this frame, the light scheme is identical to the previous frame with two actresses. We're simply zooming in and focus on the board where sandwiches are. I think I placed a light mat above the board to provide an extra illumination to this little board. This frame is quite interesting. They are usually static, and all the movement, rotation, and zoom out are made during post-production. But we made it old school style. We had Magnum camera dolly that could go up alongside its shaft. We attached a free fly movie onto the dolly so that the camera looked straight down, and using the remote control, we're rotating it. That is why all the movements here are genuine and natural. One light mat 4 was on the windowsill on the right side. It illuminated the hands. It provided key light here. Another light mat had a warmer light and stood next to the first light mat. It illuminated the sausage and overall created a warmer feel. It was necessary because our previous frames had a mixed light. Therefore, this frame had to match them in terms of light. This is why we used both cold and warm light, to make the viewer feel that everything takes place in the same space. The sausage was also illuminated by DL light, and during color correction we used a sliced part of the sausage, made it brighter, increased its sharpness, or vice versa. So there was some extra work with the sausage during post-production. Later there is a movement over the table. We see all the meals, the dishes, see the people taking some of them and placing back onto the table. Again, the camera was attached to a Magnum dolly. We also used a bungee device that was stretching the camera forward. At its tip, we attached the camera itself and moved this boom above the table. Then there is a wide shot. We see everyone at the table. Like in the previous frame, there is a light mat above illuminating all the actors.
Висит лайтмат, который дает свет на наших героев.
Another light mat was attached to a boom stand on the left, serving as backlight. In the background, everything was the same as in our previous frames. It remained the same, we changed absolutely nothing. So here it is, a quick cinematography breakdown of my work. Please share your thoughts about this type of videos. Was it useful, helpful, or not? Leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you very much for subscribing and supporting me. See you in the next video. Bye.